Okay, what's your name?
My name's Stephen. I'm the founder of Silence Speaks.
Silent Speaks.
Da-da-da.
And it's in Wales.
It's in University of South Wales Treforest, so I'm based down in Treforest in Pontypridd.
Oh, so did you say you were Scottish?
Yeah, originally from Scotland. I was born in Glasgow. I grew up in Belfast, and now I live in Wales.
I can hear the Belfast twang. See, I can hear my ex is from Ballymurray.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. She went back after we broke up. But yeah, anyway, I'll cut that up. Oh my god, I'm Tink, by the way, or Emma, but I'm known as Tink to Counterforce because Carl says I'm like Tinkerbell. I mean, I'd have to lose a bit of weight, but I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of bubbly as all. We dance around like. So what is Silent Speaks?
So it started off as a counselling service. So I offer individual counselling, couples counselling, and offered work and therapy. I also have fidgets, so I promote fidgets for sensory regulation, emotional regulation. The reason being is when I started out counselling, I have a little room and I've got a desk and I've got two chairs to sit across from each other.
Yeah.
And some people find that quite intense. That turns out there's a whole bunch of people out there that would love to go to speak to a therapist or love to go to a counsellor, but the idea of doing so in a small confined room is too much.
Yeah.
So I started off in walking therapy. I've offered fidgets along my therapy because what I found is that if your mind's quite busy or your feelings are quite overwhelming, it can be quite difficult to focus that all into a conversation.
Yes.
But if you're out walking amongst nature and you've got a load of trees around you, you've got nature, you've got sound, you've got different things, it sounds counterintuitive, but a lot of people actually find it quite a good environment to actually concentrate and specifically talk about what they want to.
Yeah.
And the same again with the fidgets. I can sit and fidget with this and it can click and make all these different noises, but as long as you can kind of overlook that, it really helps with the concentration side of things as well.
Yeah, I'm like that, because I have ADHD. I can't, I was over there talking to the NHS ladies, and I started talking about mental health because it was just like, I just burst into tears because I thought, what about? Stuff like this, I can do it fine, no problem. I'm talking about, So I totally I love that because that's quite unique as well. Because I don't really see this during, a walk-in, so to speak, doing therapy and stuff. I relate to it. So
there's a lot of walking groups. This is the thing. There's quite a lot of walking spaces and a lot of walking groups nowadays. But the idea of that is just the getting out in nature, and that's because we know getting out in nature is good for well-being.
It is.
What I've done is just combined that with therapy and been like, well, actually, if getting out for nature is good, and we know this is good things, nature's doing half my job for me.
Yes.
Somebody's already going to get certain good feelings from going out in a walk in nature. So I'm just doing actual counselling to kind of go alongside that.
Smart.
And it helps people then figure out how to figure out the thoughts by doing that. So what happens is quite often outside of sessions is clients will say to me, I've went for a walk 2 or 3 times this week. Didn't even want to walk, but I figured out my thoughts a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they diary a little bit more. They write things down a little bit more. And then that's what goes on between sessions then.
So you're a qualified counsellor then, therapist. Yeah. What sort of therapist are you?
I'm a qualified counsellor. I'm technically qualified as a psychologist, a therapist, and a counsellor. You have to spend 3 years training to be you have to spend 3 years training to become a counsellor. I spent 7 years training because I just became a bit well, that doesn't really make sense and this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think when you learn it all and you put it together, then it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand how people's minds work, and that's why I understand why fidgeting is actually a really good thing to help with talking.
Yeah.
I kind of figured it out through talking to people as a counsellor, but also from understanding how from the minds work as a psychologist. So
you're sort of putting the two into play then, isn't it? That helps your job. Because I'm actually I was planning to go to college in September to do counselling because I do the self-defence, but I want to be a safe space for someone to talk to, but also learn how the tools to talk because I'm not a very patient person, and I admit I couldn't be a counsellor because I'm just not patient enough, but I want to have the tools, but unfortunately the days just don't align with Jesse, my son, so I can't. So I'm looking at Openby University now, so to do it at home. But with that, obviously having ADHD, staying at home and looking at a screen, it's not gonna do me good. I can't concentrate. I really struggle. So I learn better in a classroom setting. But I am going to give it a go with the Open University because I haven't got a choice really. I got my son, so it's what can I do in it? And it's but I find the whole everything about counselling and amazing because it really everyone needs it at some point, doesn't they? Everyone has stuff going on. and counselling helps everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
With
So
that, it's you can maybe try like going to coffee shops and going to places where you have got noise going on in the background. So like studying at home and locking yourself in a room would almost be impractical.
yeah, it's quite
Because
boring, isn't it? As
yeah,
well. So it makes the learning not fun. And
Yeah.
I need fun. Well, stimulation,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
But then if you're like a chatty person, so you go to somewhere like Gatto Lounge or something that's around here, if you start setting up once a week and doing your studying,
Yeah.
then the waitresses are going to notice you come in here once a week, what you're doing. You get chatting to them, and then that gives you somebody to turn around and go, do you know what? I've been sitting learning this thing and it doesn't make any sense and blah, blah, blah. Waitresses are great at helping people, like hairdressers and different people.
That's a really
But it could
lovely
give you
idea.
like an alternative to the classroom.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? I love that. Thank you. So, what do you do, like sessions and stuff? Like, what? Are they, how much are they, and like, are they free or?
No, I offer so I do a mix of different things. I offer private counselling, so I offer one-to-one individual therapy. I
Yeah.
also do walk-in therapy and I do couples counselling. I have a space to do that in an office. I do that in my walking routes, and I also do that remotely online. So some clients don't like to meet or don't want to come in person, so we do everything online.
Oh, cool. So you're quite flexible then
Yeah.
with your service.
How I actually do it. I then write blogs. So if you go to my website, I think I've got 12 up there so far, but there's
Yeah.
free advice on how to tell the difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack.
Oh, brilliant.
I didn't even know there was actually a difference between both things.
Yeah.
Panic attacks happen in the moment. Anxiety attacks you can see coming. They're actually a lot like easier to do something about in advance.
it?
And if you can distinguish the difference and put in measures, you can prevent both from happening. So I give guidance on that. I write blogs about imposter syndrome, depression, anxiety, common mental health conditions to expel what it is and what it isn't.
Yeah.
Like anxiety is a really good thing to have because it stops us making stupid decisions. But actually, if you're overly anxious, it stops you making any decision.
Yes. Yeah.
So then, anxiety, how do you balance that sort of thing? So yeah, so it can be like quite a challenging thing. So I write blogs, and the idea of my blogs is to educate people and to give them guidance on a lot of pop psychology things that maybe they've been told on Instagram or heard here. They're not quite sure if it's true.
Yeah.
So I try and kind of expel those myths.
That's lovely.
I also have a shop, and the shop sells my fidgets because I started offering these through my therapy. Like I was saying to you earlier,
Yeah.
I had clients that were coming for sessions. They'd be a session or two in, and you just couldn't get much out of them.
Yeah.
They couldn't really get the words together. They couldn't connect their thoughts, and they just didn't feel like they're getting much from therapy.
Yeah.
So, like walking therapy, often alternative, I started putting fidgets on the table. And what I found is that when somebody had something to kind of play with in their hand,
Yeah.
they could find their words in their head a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they got a little bit overwhelmed, they can play with something to calm themselves down. And they became really good for like emotional regulation and stimulation.
These are so. These are like your designs, are they? Or
Yeah, I have them produced by a local supplier. He runs a
amazing.
company called Fidgeteers.
fidgetiers.
80% of the profits go, 80% of the income from what I sell on the website goes to his company. The other 20% goes to Big Moose, who are a charity support down in Cardiff.
Oh,
So I don't
really?
actually profit from these. I just offer them as part of my
Oh.
therapy. So,
You know, why don't you profit off them?
because I just like them as an extra
Yeah,
thing. I think
they're
everybody should have
amazing.
access. If you get a set of keys in your pocket, you've actually got a fidget toy without realizing it.
Yeah, yeah. I love fidgety, but these I've never had seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Like these are really. I love them.
Yeah.
They're really
And then
awesome.
the last thing I do,
Like
which
a bangle, isn't it? Fidgety toys during therapy. I think that's lovely because it's hard to just like talk. It gets overwhelming. I find I've had counselling in the past, and I do get to think I'll either get overwhelmed or I'll just mask it until it's time to go. And it's like I think these are amazing.